Okay, so I am about to update my handmade Lazy Susan rod holder. So basically, I have the old school Berkeley rod holders, 3 of them going around a triangle that's been mounted to like a 2-inch dowel that runs top to bottom. And you go to the top, you can see I've got it pegged up into the ceiling, and there is a bearing, a wheel bearing that fits into. And then about once every 2 or 3 years, I'll just go back in there with some lithium grease and do that. And it allows me, and I did basically the same thing on the floor. And then I can spin my rods around, and it takes up very little space. Now, as good as this is, and this is pretty cool, I like this, okay? So I made a tray down at the bottom, and you can see where they line up there. As good as this is, I'm about to actually make it better. And you will see how in just a few seconds. Okay, so this is what it looks like now with the old setup, and this is what 1/3 of it looks like with the new KastKing setup. Now this is the kicker. The KastKing holds 10 rods. The old style only holds 6. Okay, so I actually increased my total storage capacity from 24 to a total of 30. Okay, so that is basically a 20% increase in my storage capacity, but it's taking up the same amount of space, almost the same. Now, if you'll see here at the bottom, when I spin this around, it's going to touch that wall right there. So it's not going to spin all the way around. So what I'm going to probably have to do is I'm going to have to move the bottom out 3 inches, and I'll move the top out that way 3 inches out. Well, it's going to look like it's to the right going out. So if we're right here, it's going to bring it back towards the top about 3 inches, back towards that line going across the top. So once I do that, that will give clearance for all 30 rods in that little bitty space. And the cool thing about it is it's Lazy Susan style. Okay, so in that one little space, in that little corner space, I'm storing 30 rods once I get the next setup. Now, I had to do a little modification to do it because this was already pre-made. So instead of using the pre-existing drilled hole, which you can see right there, okay, right here, what I did was I went back in and drilled holes in here and used drywall screws to mount to the framing of my triangle. And basically that triangle is the same dimensions as a pool table rack, because I did basically the same thing over here, but I used the bottoms of the Berkeley and made myself a pool cue rack over here. So did basically the same thing. And then but when I can get the garage cleared out to where I can roll my pool table back out again, I can actually use the pool table. And you can see the racks over on the far wall back there. Those racks are the ones that came with the pool table. And now what I did on those, I just put some clapboard on the back of them, turned those into serving trays, so that if we have a party or something like that, again, when we used to have parties, but those days will come back. I know they will. So there you go. That is basically the beginnings of a transition over to the KastKing racks. Now this is something cool too. You see the line spooling station? You can put like 3 or 4 spools, depending on the size of the spools, across the rod there. And you have a lock bar here, and you just replace one of your rod holder keepers here. Just twist out, store it there so you don't lose it. Okay, twist this back out. Ta-da! All right, you got that is your spooling station adapter. All right, so I'm gonna lay that down here for now. And then I'm gonna take this and we'll put it back in. You put the smooth side up. And then there, twist it, and then now you got your another rod storage. Cool thing too is these cups that are at the bottom have a raised rim on the bottom so that you can reverse them, have one high, one low. This is really cool. I've got this down at the lowest possible place on that bottom piece on the frame so that I can put my taller rods, my longer rods, in the deeper cups. And then the higher cups, I can put my shorter rods in, whether they be spinning rods or bait casters. Most of my spinning rods are going to be 6 to 6.5. I got a couple 7s. Most of my bait casters, though, I don't think I have anything shorter than a 6.5 now. So the tall ones I could use for some of the shorter bait casters, but the deeper ones definitely for like a 6.5 or you know, between a 6.5 and a 7.5. So I like that. I think it's pretty cool. And then on this, you take this right here and you spin it around and put it in this way. And you see how that goes over that hole. Then you can actually go back in. You can use the rod clip here to lock that down by twisting it in if you want to. Me personally, I don't think you really need to do that here. But you just may want to do that to kind of keep it from jumping. But there you go, man. I like it. I think it's pretty sweet. But you wouldn't want to put that here because then that's going to block your ability to run the line through there. So you just run the line through there, and then it keeps it, you know, centered, the spool centered as it moves back and forth, and you're good, which I think is pretty cool. But line storage, I like that even better. I think that's the biggest advantage to that. I don't know really how much I'll actually use the line spooling technique, but man, I really love the storage savings, the space savings gained by doing this. I thought I had it down pat with the Lazy Susan style, and then KastKing took it to a whole nother level with this. So it's going to look like a 3-petaled flower, basically, once I get everything mounted on. And this is kind of like a tackle storage tip, if you want to take it as that. What I did was I just took the diameter of the dowel, the long dowel post I had. I measured my ceiling, got some scrap pieces of pressure treated 2x4. Cut out my hole in there before I cut the 2x4 down. Now, I put a lot of pressure in there, and I did not pre-drill my screw holes, and that's why it split like that. But it's held up. I mean, it's held up pretty well. I even went back with some longer screws from the top side here and went back in and just kind of reattached the wood to itself, just kind of give it some reinforcement. But this has been on here, I'll tell you, this has been up here like this since 2007, okay? I actually had a second one at one point. I hope you enjoyed the tip. And if you have any questions or anything like that, just reach out to me.